Hi everyone, it's Jovi here. I just want to give you a quick update on the Trabricks and the Redtwo storage. In my last video, I was going to kit up this pumpkin porch one by Lynn in Dreamer Designs using Redtwo, Trabricks, and Forever Young, but I have since returned the Forever Young trays. They were the sides were concaved. The drills were getting stuck in between, so I went ahead and returned there. There was no issue with those. So with this one, I used Trabricks and the Redtwo. I think I used 10 of the, no, 12 or 10. And then the rest I used all the Trabricks kitted up. And so I just wanted to give you my thoughts, my final thoughts on what I thought of these two systems. And let me put these out of the way. It's in the way. Okay, so let's start with Trabricks. The Trabricks, I really liked these. These were the large ones. I wish they were bigger, and I think I mentioned that in my last video. I did want them bigger, but let me change the angle here so we can zoom in a little bit, and I'll show you some of the issues I had with both of them. Be a better angle. I was hoping to get to this sooner, but we're having a kitchen remodel, a bathroom, another bathroom later, but we've had contractors here nonstop for the last 2 months, and um, finally things are going to settle down till after the holidays. But that's why this took forever to work on. I thought for sure this was only going to take not hardly any time at all because it's all mostly line blocking and color blocking, but it was a little over a month. But there were like 2-3 weeks that I didn't do any diamond painting at all. Okay, so back to the Trabricks. I did like these, and in the last video, I think I had 40, and I mentioned I was going to order 60, so that way at least I would have enough to kit up other kits. But I actually ordered 2 more sets, so I ended up with 80 of them, which, I'll end up using them. Sorry for all that racket, but okay, so the Trabricks, I did like them. The only issues I had with them was I wish that it had a little reserve at the ends, how the Forever Young ones did, and so did I saw the art dots, which I actually ordered those. They were supposed to be here yesterday, but they're delayed until next week sometime. But I wished they would have had the little reserves on the ends. And, that's about all really. Well, here's another issue I had too. When you have let me start over. Well, when you have very little drills, they kind of get stuck up on top, and it's hard to get your multi-placer in there, of course. So I always turn them this way. So I just kind of thought having a little reserve on the ends would be, would work better. But also, let's see. And this is when I had a full bag. This isn't even, this is less than, I don't know, not even hardly any left, but a full bag of the 310s I would stick in here. But they were so full that I ended up just dumping them into a regular tray. It's all yucky, sorry. But I just dumped them into a regular tray and pulled out all the yucky ones and, put them back in here when I was done. But once it got less than half a bag, maybe, it was sufficient to work fine. I mean, so you still have to use your tray for some of the containers that are full, but it worked good. Let's see. Another thing I did not care for, which isn't Trabricks. It's probably my mistake. I shouldn't have bought it to begin with. I love the clear. I like the clear. You can see everything that's in them, and it makes it so pretty. And let me see if I can find one that has a little bit more colors. But the only thing I had issues with the clear is that it reflects a lot on my table when I have my light on. So, and I had a hard time seeing. Okay, and there's another issue. See, when you stick it down on top of everything gets lost in there. I guess unless you do it on a separate color. But if I'm working on blues and I want to be doing the blues, it's going to get lost. So I just been putting it on a piece of parchment paper, and that's not really an issue, So the glare kind of bothers me, but that's probably, I should have bought maybe a colored tray, maybe the purple or the pink, or maybe the iridescent ones that they have now. Those ones probably would have worked great. But I do like the clear. I think they're pretty. I just like them clear. So there's that. And okay. Oh, and I love that there's no static with the Trabricks. No static. I haven't had any issue, but I didn't really have any issues with static with these drills anyways. These are Dreamer Designs, and so far a couple times maybe I might have had some issues with Dreamer Design, but the Mystical Dream diamonds, yeah, that's the one I did last time with the little what was it? A Snowy Christmas? No, Gnomey Christmas. Gnomey Christmas? Yeah, that one had tons of static and everything was sticking to it. But these I haven't had any issue with at all. So I do like that there are no static. Let's see, what else do I have going on with here? That's about it really. So I ended up ordering 80 of these now. So I must like them. Okay, let's move on to this system. This is the Redtwo, and I didn't particularly care for these. Okay, so let's see, where can we begin? Okay, I think they would be good for maybe for storage, or for somebody who does a lot of single placing, or I don't know, or maybe multi-placing with the 4-tip or 5-tip, but using a 10 on these was not very, I don't know, I didn't care for them. So I had a lot of static with these. Let me try to show you how. Okay, so you flip it, see, the static's still on there. So you flip it over. Let me get one that has a little bit more at least. Let's see if we can try this one. No. Let's see, which one has more? Okay, so these don't fit a full, I don't know. These were just weird. All static. So you flip it over. I pop it, shake it a little. And, by time you try to get the things to line up, they don't line up very well. And if it was a little bit more in there, they might have lined up better. But let me see if I can find one that's a little bit more fuller so I can show you. No. Huh. I'm just making a mess now. But anyways, so the issue I had with this is once you got it, if they were fuller, here, let me do this because I don't save my drills anyway. So let me do an example here. I just throw them all in the Ziploc baggie when I'm done, so I don't care if I mix the colors. So let me do that. Let me get this one out of there. And I'll show you what it looks like when they're full. That way you can see what I'm talking about, kind of. Let's see. Oh, here, let's use some of these ones because these ones come out easier. Oh, shit. Maybe not. Oops. Okay, here's another issue too. When they get on the side, because of the static, you have to really work to get them off this little thing in order to close the tray. Let's see, did I get it? There's one stuck there. I just did not have good time with this little tray system. I mean, I'm sure it works good for others, but for me, I'm impatient and I want to be diamond painting and I don't want to be jacking around with drills everywhere. And, it's just me. Let's see. Oh, here's one. This one's a full one. A tray. Let's get this one out. Okay, so what you got to do is shake this up. Make sure they're all, see all the static? Get them back in there like that really nicely. Try to get them down. And I always leave this off and hold it down with my thumb, because if not, if you try to pop this open, it'll just pop all over. So here we go. We're going to try to do something here. Let me get a piece of, where's my peeper? Oh, I'll just throw them in here. So what I found is I have to hold this tray down with my fingers, because if you use your multi-placer, sometimes my putty would get stuck on here or on this top part. And when I would pick them up, the damn, all okay, I shouldn't cuss, but all the darn drills would pop up and it would just be a big mess all over. I don't think I can get it to do it now. If you don't, that's not too bad. But anyways, so in you can't really use this section because of this little loop here, this little loop. But I guess, I didn't care for it. I really just didn't. And I don't know. I didn't like it. So I'm sure it'll work great for others. For me, it just wasn't. How come it's not popping? It's not popping. I had issues with the dang thing popping all over when I was using it. Maybe because my putty's a little bit older. Maybe it only does it for new. I don't know. But you can also take this out if you don't have very much, and you could do it this way also. Shake it down, and like that. But and I guess it would probably be better to do it this way. But sometimes just getting them to line up wasn't working out for me very well. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't care for these too much. I'm sure some people will love them, but not for me. Just staticky. I guess they would probably be good for if you do single placing a lot, because I did use them a lot for single placing, because when I got down to this little arrow on the Hannah Lynn one down here in the bricks, there was a color down below. Let me move some of these up. There was a color down below here that was the little U-turn arrow. I had that kitted up in this. This was the whole arrow. I used all the little arrow symbols in this container. But when I got down to using that, this one here, it was just not very, it was kind of low down already. I couldn't get, what did I do with that paper? Oh, here it is, parchment. I couldn't get the, let me check to see if this microphone's still working. Yeah, sorry for that. I couldn't get them to line up to get like on my full. See how they don't want to. That's it. So I was able only to do like maybe 3 rows, maybe 3 or 4. And then I had to shake it again. And then you have to try to get them to line up again. And then finally, I was just getting so mad. It was just frustrating that I just ended up getting out the multi-placer, or not the single placer, and just started doing it single, because it was just, I don't know, I didn't care for them. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy more of these, because I only did 48. I wanted to try them first, and then if I liked them, I would purchase more. But yeah, I'm glad I don't know. Single placing, I think they'd be fine. Multi-placing, maybe with a 5 or 4. But if you're going to use a 10 or anything bigger, I'd say no. And plus, I also had issues where you couldn't get over here to these ones because of the thing in the way. That's the same with down below here also. This little thing's in the way. But I can't believe the static that these little things held. That's just crazy. I did have to put dryer sheets in some of them too. I don't know where they are, but they're here somewhere. So anyways, those are my final thoughts on Trabricks and Redtwo. I definitely would recommend the Trabricks. I wish they were bigger. It's good. I sound like a broken record, boy. I do. And I wish this is the large size. So I can only imagine what the little ones are. I don't know. And I was putting off on ordering the art dots for the longest time because I couldn't get all the large in sync. I couldn't buy them separately. And I decided to go ahead and just pick them up and buy them that way, and you know how they come. And so I think I'm going to try them. I might like them. We'll see. Oh, and also, let me see what else is going on here. Let me clear some of this stuff out of the way. And I want to show you what I'm using for the tray. These ones, right, I just left the Redtwo on my desk sitting like this, off to the side or on top of my canvas when I worked on them. I know somebody else, I haven't even unboxed the rest of these. I've only used that one tray. The rest of these are still in the packaging, in the plastic, and see, they still have all the little things. But I did watch on a video yesterday, I think it was Laura, um, who, or maybe it was a couple of days ago, she had ordered the bigger set. She took them all out and she had them lined up side by side, and they weren't laying flush with each other. That would drive me nuts. But anyways, I did think about ordering a tray system holder at the time because I think my husband might have got it for me for my Christmas list, but I'm not sure. Um, but at the time, I had this desk behind me in the little nook area, and I did have a wall to hang that on. Now I don't have a wall because I moved it more towards the middle of the area. But anyways, so I'm using these little containers that let me get them all out here. They're just clear little acrylic containers that my sister actually picked up for me because I told her I need to measure my containers so I can find them. Well, she just happened to be at Costco in her area. I don't have a Costco where we live at. So she picked me up 2 boxes of these. They are clearly 6-piece organizer set, and they come with, I want to say, 3 of those big, or that size, and they must come with 3 of those ones also. Oh yeah, I got one more of those. So 4. Okay, yes, that's it. Let's see if I can get this out. Shit, I should have pulled it out ahead of time. Sorry. I'm such a mess. These videos are always so unorganized. I just kind of get on there and do my thing. Don't really have no plan or reason. Okay, I can't get this out. It's freaking stuck in here. Damn it. Struggling. Okay, maybe if I open it from the bottom. No, it's not going to help. I must have repackaged these really well because I can't get them out now. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. Horrible. It's not coming out of here. Guess they're in there crooked. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm getting stressed with that. Here's one more. Okay, I guess it helps if you put them in the box straight instead of like at a crooked angle. Oh. Okay, so anyways, I got one out. Here we go. Here's the second one. Okay. Sorry. So these fit nice. They fit in here. You can do 2 rows this way also. But I did like the little separation because I like to be able to put my finger in there. I guess you could put your finger in there still and get them out. But what I'm keeping them in right now is I have this little organizer. Let me put them in there and I'll show you. This, let me pull this around off this thing here. Okay, I have this little organizer, my little cart. that I'm keeping them in right now. So they seem to fit pretty good. And I like that they're clear off the table. So that way I don't have such a huge mess up here. And, just keep my tools that I need, and I'm keeping them in here. Um, I don't know how I would fit more, maybe on the sides and over on this direction. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out or something if I get a bigger kit and um use these. But anyways, I can always keep one on my desk like I did with that one. But these both fit in here also. So put so anyways, I'm just going on rambling now. But let's see. That's it. That's all I wanted to show you. And I would totally recommend Trabricks, Redtwo, not so much. Maybe single placing. If you're a single placer and have a small kit I can see maybe using it with, but I didn't. The static was just not, I just didn't care for it. So, yeah. And here's the Dreamer design that I finished. Pumpkin Porch. She's very pretty. This is the first Hannah Lynn that I've actually completed. I have, I think, Crazy Cat Lady and, oh, Crazy Cat Lady and, let's see. Sorry, this whole area is a mess. And this one I ordered recently. What is it? Cuckoo Clock Cottage? Yeah, Cuckoo Clock Cottage I ordered. Oh, here's another one that's cute. Oh, and this one's beautiful. So, anyways, those are the only 3 Hannah Lynns that I have. And I had a lot of fun working with this. It's a lot of color blocking, line blocking, and a lot of 310s. So, I just recently ordered a tray that's called, okay, I'm not sure of the proper name, but it's a big ash tray. It's from, oh, Summers? No, anyways, when I get it in, I'll show it to you. And that would be great just to throw all your black in there and leave it constantly in that. But this is what she looks like. She's pretty and very sparkly. And this is one of the newer Dreamer design canvases. So the drill field is pretty tight. There's not too much gapping. Um, Kind of like a little bit over through here in the lighter colors, there was gapping and over by her neck. But other than that, I could probably get a thing in maybe, I don't know, in her nose area. Probably try to even that out some. But I think lighter colors are kind of like that, but who knows? I haven't been diamond painting that long. That's just my guess. I did have an issue with right here. You can see I messed up. Okay, so I usually use parchment paper instead of um, the release papers. I just use parchment paper, and I should probably change out my parchment paper I throughout the time, throughout working on it, because what I do is I usually lay the parchment paper down, and let me. What I usually do is just you pull it off and it's kind of sticky. It's all sticky underneath you. So I just lay my parchment paper on top of the sticky part and put my, my tray, my drills, whatever. And I just diamond paint like that. And then I move down. And so it's sticky. But what happened was sometimes when I have to, if I don't finish the section or, and I take the plastic, I cut the plastic off on that area and I always peel it off. So if I don't finish that section, I always end up putting a piece of parchment paper on there. And then I just kind of lay stuff on top of it. So that way the cats don't get on top of it and leave cat hair everywhere. Because, cats like to do that crazy stuff. But, so anyways, I was working in this area here with this green, and the whole glue wasn't sticky. And I'm not sure if it was because my parchment paper was so old or it was getting, I don't know. It wasn't sticking. I couldn't get nothing to stick. And of course, I've never had this issue with before. So I didn't have any glue. I thought, well, I never had any of this kind of glue. So I thought maybe a glue stick, or I had when I used to do rubber stamping. It's another craft I used to do, but that's another story. And I used to use what was it? Mono adhesive? No, not mono adhesive. It was in a, I loved that glue. It was in a white container with a green jar, green lid. But, anyways, that stuff used to work great. So I had a Tombow. And what I did was I went in this green section here and I just kind of Tombowed it, and the drills stuck great to it. But now I have this little sticky area that looks kind of, you can kind of tell it's kind of funky there. And I don't use what's it called, what the heck's it called, the washi tape. I never border the washi tape around. I usually don't have an issue too much with stuff sticking unless I have long sleeves or a sweater or sweatshirt. I do get cat hair on it, but oh well, that's going to happen. So, um, I don't usually use. So, anyways, you can see right there that I have some adhesive there, but I do have an adhesive eraser. So, hopefully, I don't know where it's at right now. Oh, here it is. So, hopefully, let's see if it works. Let's see if it works real quick. Let's see right here. Yeah, it's kind of coming off a little. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's looking nice. It's working. I might have to go through with the I'll probably have to go through with the little tweezer and get all the little balls off or something. But it is coming out pretty good. Yeah, you can see right here the Tombow. So, all right. Well, that looks good. Looks nice. I wish I would have known I got this little eraser. I used to use this a lot in rubber stamping, but I couldn't find my one I had. I had one somewhere, a couple of them, and I couldn't find them. I still have in the garage a bunch of stuff packed up. So, anyways, um, that's all I got. And I just wanted to update everybody. Sorry this was so rambling and so long. And I do have 3 boxes here from Dreamer Designs that I need to open up and unbox. And hopefully I will be working on one of those after I get all this put away. It's just kind of a mess here. So, anyways, thank you for stopping back by. I really appreciate you. And hopefully next year I will do a video, maybe introducing myself a little bit better, letting you know about, more about me or something instead of just getting on here and rambling. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.